Those claws contain a potent neurotoxin which will paralyze you in under 5 minutes, allowing them to run you down and eat you alive.
What's up, YouTube? My name is Mistic, and welcome to Mistic Reacts. Today I am watching some more MoreParz videos. I have a whole playlist if you would like to go check that out. If you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what is your favorite MoreParz video. Maybe I've watched it, maybe I haven't, maybe I'll check it out in this video. Let's see. Let's get into the video.
This bird has to rearrange its organs and skeleton just
Kiwi?
to lay an egg.
Yeah.
This cute little guy is the kiwi bird, a species of ratite native to New Zealand this time, and the absolute poster child for getting cucked by evolution.
You see, this walking featherball is actually directly related to the emu, ostrich, and cassowary, being a member of the same family of flightless birds. However, there is a problem. You see, the rest of the kiwis' bloodline actually looked up a build guide before picking their stat spread, and as such made sure to trade the whole flying thing for something useful.
With all of his cousins specking into speed, size, and some kind of offensive capability.
So that leaves the question, what did the kiwi pick to make up for not flying?
Cuteness.
Absolutely nothing.
Cuteness.
Kiwis are tiny in comparison to their relatives, coming in at only 4 kilos in weight and 50 centimeters tall. This is because kiwis evolved largely on an island with no natural predators, so they downsized and traded out the knife feet and bloodlust for just being a little guy with a good attitude, which honestly worked pretty well for them. Until the British did British things, and now they have to deal with cats and dogs trying to eat them. And considering this build was not designed for PvP, they have been clapped so hard by invasive species that they are now unfortunately an endangered animal. But getting shafted by the British is just the beginning of the generational violation of the
British.
kiwi. Because these poor feathered fruits can't even reproduce without getting over. You see, the kiwi bird's cousins are famous for laying huge eggs. I'm talking hit your protein macros in one meal-sized egg.
Hell yeah.
And you would think that is
I
because
don't
they
like
are large.
eggs that much.
And you would be
Even though I have chickens.
wrong, because their vertically challenged cousins have to lay eggs the same size.
A kiwi bird lays eggs 20% the size of their body.
That's
With
crazy.
the egg being so bloody large, it rearranges their internal organs and stretches their rib cage just to be able to hold the thing.
For reference, that is like a human giving birth to a 15-kilo child. That's not a bun in the oven anymore. That's a whole bakery. This animal will peel your face off like a banana. Introducing the one creature that strikes fear into the hearts of every Aussie.
Or drop bear.
The infamous, terrifying drop bear.
Yeah, drop bear.
A species of predatory marsupial exclusive to the land down under. This genuine nightmare may seem pretty normal at first, closely resembling the koala bear, and that is by design. You see, the drop bear is an ambush predator, patrolling the branches of the eucalyptus tree and using their keen sense of smell to detect incoming prey. And once they can smell you approaching, they will position themselves in the leaves of the trees, being basically impossible to spot unless you're actively looking for them. And even if you do see them, you're automatically going to assume it's a koala. And that assumption is probably going to be the last mistake you make, because walking under these things is inviting the most painful death you can think of. Once you've walked into range, the drop bear will launch itself from a tree and aim directly for your head. Small animals will often be clapped on impact as the 20-kilo drop bear launched itself out of the tree so fast that it snaps their spine. And they're the lucky ones, because once they make contact with your head, drop bears will immediately puncture your scalp with their foreclaws and latch on like a fuzzy little face hugger. Once firmly attached to your skull, the drop bear will start to kick out your eyes with its hind claws in an attempt to blind you. And while they are forcing you to cosplay Daredevil, they will be tearing into your face with their fangs like a chainsaw. The attacks are so vicious, most human victims end up being completely scalped and having their faces removed. And even if you manage to pull them off in the initial assault, those claws contain a potent neurotoxin which will paralyze you in under 5 minutes, allowing them to run you down and eat you alive. Australia loses roughly 600 people per year to drop bear attacks. So if you want to survive your trip down under,
I'm not
I have
going
a
there.
secret to share with you about the drop bear. And that secret is that all of this is complete and utter bullshit. Drop bears aren't real. I made it all up. April Fool's cunt. This
Fuck
jellyfish
you.
is basically a time bomb. Introducing the
They're not
Urchangia,
real?
a species of jellyfish native to the northern waters of the land
you.
down under, and possibly my least favourite animal in the entire ocean, because it is just a massive, spiteful Well, massive is misleading, as this little guy is tiny. I mean, ridiculously small. Being not much
Just a
bigger
little
than your
guy.
fingernail at the head and basically completely f***ing invisible to the naked eye. This is a fairly major problem, because behind that halo cloak frame, they are dragging 3-foot-long tentacles and shocking absolutely no one.
Say the line, Bart.
What's the line?
It is one of the most venomous jellyfish in the ocean. I'm so f***ing tired of the stealth poison multi-classes on OCE servers, dude. This shit is broken. You see, those 3-foot tentacles are covered with tiny little barbs, and at the barest touch, they will literally propel themselves into your skin like a bullet and inject you with the Australia Special, a pina colada cocktail of various neurotoxins. And upon being injected, you will feel absolutely f***ing nothing.
Why do they
You'll
keep
keep swimming around, splashing about in the water, kissing.
What? Perfect frame. Why do they keep specking into not feeling anything? Why do they keep specking into that? They're already deadly enough. Why do you need to be even more deadly? Why? Give us a warning. Give us a warning. And give your homies a kiss.
In the homies, until you are overcome with a sudden, severe feeling of impending dread. I mean the kind of dread that will have you hysterically screaming that you are about to die. I'm gonna die!
I'm gonna die!
I'm gonna f***ing die! That's because
Is
the
that from,
invisible cut here does
his
psychic damage, inflicting a
only
condition
up-
known as
not only
Urchangia
up.
syndrome, which starts with
Getting
a feeling
over
of
it.
impending doom
Game.
so strong, there are records of people asking to be, avoiding a ban here, forcibly disconnected from God's Minecraft server. And that feeling of doom is warranted because about 30 minutes after being stung, that biological bomb goes off, with the venom initially causing extreme pain throughout your entire body. And after making you feel like a failed isekai protagonist, the venom then spikes your blood pressure
love
and
Chuck
heart
Kun.
rate through the roof, which can cause heart attacks, blood clots, and has even been recorded to cause brain hemorrhages.
And the f***ed up part is, it doesn't have an anti-venom.
This thing sneak attacks you, waits 30 minutes, sends you a private DM telling you it got your ass, and there is not a f***ing thing you can do about it. Toxic little shit. This pigeon saved an entire army battalion.
Heroes never die.
Introducing our protagonist, Jeremy, a carrier pigeon who was in the
Jeremy.
employ of the US Army Signal Corps during World War I. You see,
Okay.
back in the oldie times, radio technology was, kind of dog shit. So carrier pigeons were still the meta for DMing the homies memes over distance. Which is how,
stick
in
bug.
1918, our feathered little shock trooper here ended up in France, with
Wee
500
wee.
US soldiers stuck 3 kilometres behind enemy lines, completely cut off from supply and reinforcement in a 7-day shootout. You see, Jeremy's battalion, juiced up on freedom and red crayons, had overextended and become trapped, surrounded on all sides by German soldiers. And to make matters worse, being stuck behind enemy lines meant they were now on the receiving end of US defence spending, being absolutely hammered with friendly artillery. Now, stuck as far away as they would have had more luck using their radio as fucking nunchucks than a comms device. So they began sending out carrier pigeons in an attempt to tell command to stop fucking shelling them and help on the point. However, the Germans were having none of that shit and shot every single carrier pigeon the battalion sent out of the air like they were running an AIM Labs warm-up. Until only one remained. Jeremy. Desperate
Jeremy.
and rapidly running out of
Jeremy.
soldiers, the battalion wrote a message and attached it to Jeremy, sending him into the air and watching him sail above the trees. And just when they thought he was clear,
No.
some f***ing sweat on the German side nailed him. The battalion watched in horror as their last hope spiraled out of the sky. The bullet tore straight through Jeremy's center of mass, destroying one eye, punching a hole through his chest, and blowing off one of his legs. And this giga chad of an animal
he's right.
tanked it.
Do you have any ibuprofen?
I have a headache.
The Marines watched in awe as this mangled pigeon picked itself out of the mud and managed to fly clear of German fire. Cherami made it the whole way back to base, delivering the message and saving a total of 194 soldiers.
Let's
Not only did he get the
go.
job done, but he lived. He was granted one of the highest military honors the French army
bird
could
better
provide
have like a
and sent into
luxury
retirement
life.
with his trainer. And when
After
he
that.
eventually did pass several years later, he was preserved and placed in the Smithsonian, where you can go see him today. There he is. Absolute legend. Scientists just de-extincted a 12,000-year-old dog. Well,
What do you
kinda.
mean,
You see,
de-extinct?
a bioengineering company called Colossal has
Oh,
dedicated
is it
itself
the,
to doing what every single Jurassic Park film has told us is a bad idea. Bringing back extinct species. And recently, they made a breakthrough. They managed to bring back the
Direwolf.
12,000-year-old direwolf.
Yeah.
You know those big-ass puppies from Game of Thrones that the Starks had? Yeah, those were actually a real-ass animal, alive during the late Ice Age. And the best way I can describe them to you is,
Basically a wolf on steroids.
Cute.
these things were bigger, faster, and stronger, estimated to have the highest bite force out of any canine.
Why exactly are we bringing them back? Like, could we not have chose like a cuter animal? Why the dire wolf? Why not like a dodo? Or like, why not something cute and not harmful? Why? I've never seen Jurassic Park, so I don't know, but why the dire wolf? Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why?
And in a move that I'm sure has no implications, they have managed to bring these bad boys back to life.
These two little guys are now 6 months old and have been living on a private plot of land with 24/7 veterinary care.
However, they've
They're so
only just
cute.
been shown off to the public, with the company going
They're
so
so
far
cute.
as to get a photo op with George R.R. Martin holding one of these adorable little killing machines, showing that man will literally interact with an extinct species before he finishes that last f***ing book.
There is, however, one small problem.
Right.
This isn't technically a dire wolf.
Yeah,
You see,
it's,
by merit of them being extinct, short of specking into
mixed
necromancy,
thing.
you can't exactly bring them back. Which is where this guy comes in. You see, the grey wolf shares 99.5% of its genetic code with the dire wolf. So,
How does that
using
work?
CRISPR gene editing, they basically toss the grey wolf back into the spore creator, then using the code found in dire wolf fossils as a build guide, juiced the out of it, boosting the size slider and putting some extra points into strength, as well as
And
adjusting its head
cuteness.
shape and teeth. All in all, they made a total of 20 edits to 14 genes, producing the closest
Why?
thing we can get to a dire wolf short of time travel.
But
Which is cool as
why?
fuck. I give it 5 years before a man-made horror beyond comprehension breaks out of that f***ing lab and we are all playing Resident Evil.
Yeah.
This bear was actually a soldier.
Cocaine bear.
But how?
Or
You
is
see,
it
it was
different bear?
1942, and the 22nd Polish Artillery
Is this
Company were
Cocaine
passing
Bear?
through the mountains of Iran on their way to the front lines to fight the Nazis. While passing through a town on their way, they were stopped by a young Iranian shepherd looking to trade with them for rations and a Swiss Army knife. When the Poles asked what he had to offer in return, the young shepherd produced
Not
a
really.
burlap sack containing an orphaned Syrian brown bear cub. You see, this bear's mother was shot by hunters, which is how he ended up in a low-tech Pokeball being offered as a trade deal. The Polish looked at the bear and, clearly seeing the potential for insane dad lore, said, "Damn good deal." And
Hell
the
yeah.
most worthwhile trade deal in history, parted ways with their supplies in exchange for a f***ing Pokemon, adopting him into their ranks and naming him Wojtek. And the 22nd immediately set about raising this little man as a proper bear and soldier. Maggots! As a baby, they would feed him condensed milk out of an empty vodka bottle, as well as
Hell yeah.
feeding him on the cartoon bear diet consisting of fruit, honey, and marmalade. They also appointed
Marmalade.
a soldier as his caretaker who wasted no time in showing Wojtek how to fit in with the rest of the army, teaching Yogi's little cousin to wave, salute, and even march. While not undergoing rigorous military training, Wojtek would hang out with the soldiers. He drank coffee with them in the morning, trained with them in the day,
Hell yeah.
and when they all got shit-faced in the evening, he would f***ing wrestle with them. Do you know how much a brown bear has to love you to wrestle
To
you?
not kill you.
On top of double rations, they would also feed Wojtek treats in the form of beer and cigarettes. They
Hell
let
yeah.
the bear have smoko.
Hell yeah.
Eventually, Army High Command heard about this and were having absolutely none of it.
Aww.
You see, pets were not allowed in the army, which meant Wojtek had to go. Or did he?
He's a
because
member.
the 22nd Artillery Company officially enlisted him.
I'm doing my part.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing my part.
Wojtek was given a serial number and granted the rank of private. So when confronted about the very conspicuous bear in their ranks, they simply went, "That's not a bear, that's Private Wojtek."
Hell yeah.
And Wojtek took his new role very seriously, as during the Battle of Monte Cassino in 1944, Wojtek began using his bulk to transport artillery shells and ammo to soldiers engaged in combat. They had a fucking resupply bear.
Hell
For his
yeah.
bravery, he was promoted to the rank of corporal, and the 22nd changed their insignia to a bear carrying an artillery
I hope
shell.
you enjoy that
This
rank up.
absolute unit smoked, drank, and dropped artillery on the Nazis.
Hell yeah.
Based. Crocodiles are just dinosaurs that forgot to go extinct.
Oh.
I am dead serious, and I cannot think of a croc species to better make my point than the saltwater crocodile.
Okay.
A species native to the land down under.
Of course.
And shocking absolutely no one. Yes, it can and will eat you.
Of course.
You see, keeping on theme with the whole forgetting to go extinct thing, the salty stat spread just feels like something that should have been patched out with the rest of Jurassic Park, starting with their ridiculous size. You see,
Big
salties
boy.
are the largest
Big
reptile
boy.
on the planet, coming in at a total of 6 meters long with a maximum weight of 1,100 kilos.
Holy
which
big
makes
boy.
this murder lizard genuinely longer than my car. And the f***ed up part is that despite
He has
being
some good
longer
hair.
than my ute, they are for some reason absolute masters of stealth. You see, crocs are ambush predators, which is a scientific way of saying they are dirty f***ing campers.
Spawn campers.
See, they've got 2 raised eyes that sit on the top of their heads, which means they can submerge their Ford Falcon-sized frame basically entirely under the water without sacrificing the ability to spot whatever they are looking to turn into a Happy Meal. And from your perspective as the Happy Meal, they are really difficult to see, which makes it very easy to walk just a little too close and, yeah, get bitten in half by that hydraulic press they call a mouth.
Hell yeah. Mistic Crunch.
That's right, just like any good camper, these scaly arseholes are packing a one-shot in the form of
Hell
one of the
yeah.
highest bite forces of any animal on the planet, having been recorded at putting out a maximum of 3,700 psi of force through their jaws.
What does that mean?
To put that into context, your skull will crack at 1,100 psi, so a croc would pop your head like a watermelon. And if you
I
don't
wanna
immediately get folded by the
crack
first
watermelon
bite,
with my
those jaws will
thighs.
latch
I wanna
onto
do
you
that.
as the croc begins a death roll, spinning its ton of body weight like a washing machine until whatever part of you it has decided to eat snaps off and is added to its protein goals. But the best thing about the crocodile is their build is so f***ing good. They have genuinely been around with very little evolutionary change for 65 million years. Which means I grew up watching Steve Irwin wrestle dinosaurs for fun. Rest in peace, you absolute f***ing legend.
Yeah.
Koalas are really dumb. In fact, Australia's fuzzy icon is probably the dumbest thing on the planet. And that
Really?
stupidity starts with their diet, because of all the things they could have chosen to eat, they chose to eat
Leaf.
nothing but straight up poison.
Oh.
You see, koalas feed exclusively on eucalyptus leaves, which, shocking no one, are highly toxic. Because
Of
they are full to
course.
the brim with eucalypt oil, which is so fucking poisonous that as little as 3.75 mil is enough to land you in the afterlife, with the Reaper asking you why the fuck you felt the need to eat a leaf.
But can you be around it? 'Cause I feel like I've seen those, like, eucalyptus stuff for sale or something.
Why?
Oh, it's also highly flammable and burns like napalm.
Oh,
Because Australia.
okay.
Now, despite nature putting up this giant do not eat sign, that did not stop the koala, because he can't fucking read. This suboptimal bulking diet not only gives the koala fuck all in the way of nutrition, but also requires their body to rest to filter out the toxins so they don't fucking cark it. Meaning they need to spend upwards of 18 hours a day sleeping in order to just digest their fucking food. These dumbasses spend most of their life in a food coma. That is,
Just like
however,
me,
if
for
they
real.
even get to the food to begin with, because they are so mind-numbingly brain dead that they will not recognize a eucalyptus leaf as food unless it is on the branch. I could give this dumbass a lifetime supply of food, and if it wasn't on a stick, he would starve to death. It should come as no surprise to you at this
He's
point that the
cute.
koala has such an esky temperature IQ that they literally have a smooth brain. The thoughts slide right off of this dumb cunt. I love him.
Yeah. Cute. They're so cute. And if you like the koala, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to me. The closest thing you will find to a koala. Yeah.